This week I made a video how Nissan is likely killing the Skyline as they cancel all Japanese produced sedans. It just so happens during that video I discovered a local source of importers in my own backyard. Craft Sports is an official teammate of Nismo. No joke, and they're literally 15 minutes away from where I live. This is the first Nissan Skyline and GTR importer that I'm aware of on a massive scale here in the United States. So I'm going to take you on a tour through Craft Sports, where I was a kid in a candy shop. So here is the outside of Craft Sports. It's literally like a couple blocks away from where I used to work as a personal trainer here in Naples, way before I started the YouTube channel. Like, I knew where this building was. It's crazy that it's been converted into a Nissan Skyline, and more specifically a GTR home ground. And, you know, here's me just walking around outside of the camera. It's just unreal. They're just all lined up waiting for people to come in and look. And you don't even need an appointment. You can just walk in. People were walking in when I was there just to like probably thinking the same things I was. Like, is this real? So just an amazing experience, and I cannot believe I live across town. Not even 15 minutes from where I live is this place. So super lucky that I was able to visit this amazing importer. On the screen is the president and CEO of Craft Sport, Kazuki Furusawa. He was so happy to welcome me there, and I probably talked to him for about, I don't know, an hour through a translator after I'd done my filming. The guy's just incredible. So he had a special message for you guys on the channel, and he wants to invite you to his amazing business of GTRs.
My name is Kazuki Furusawa, president of Craft Sports. We'd love for you to come visit Craft Sports.
So this was the office and where I spoke to, here's a translator, Kaz. He was born in Japan. He moved out of Japan at the age of 12, but it was great to meet him. And the back office there was Joe, who invited me in. So all three of them were very helpful. And you guys are probably wondering, Kirk, where's the GTR action? So the lady in the background right there, she works for a private bank that, you know, helps finance these vehicles for people who want to buy them across the country. So she was there inspecting this vehicle, and I was able to, you know, get under the hood, actually listen to it idle, which was pretty cool inside. And then here I'm just going down a line of R32s, which is it might be my favorite generation, R32 of Skyline. They're all beautiful. There's no doubt about it, but the R32 is very special to me. I just think the lines are so clean. The Skylines got bigger after the R32 generation, the 33s, which there is one I really like coming up in a little bit. I think the rear end is incredible on the R32s. They look so clean, very minimal, and I think they look better than the R34s. The R33s they're cool, and like I said, there's one you're going to see here in a little bit that is just rocks my socks. Now this is a Silvia. I wasn't expecting a Silvia here, so they actually import other vehicles as well. It's not just Skylines and GTRs, even though that's the major part of their business is the GTR end of things. But as you can see, an NSX over there, that's actually an automatic. So it's, from what I hear, it's really rare to find manual transmission first gen NSXs from Japan because it was seen as more of a gentleman's car, a more rich people's car, where they didn't want to shift their own gears. So most of them are 4-speed automatics, the NSX. As we finish up looking at this Silvia, just looking at the logo, that's a pretty cool logo on a car you don't see anymore. And then I squeeze between right-hand driven NSX, Honda NSX, not Acura, Honda NSX, and the venerable 2JZ twin turbo Supra. Look at this line. Look at this Skyline. Get it? Skyline. Like, it's just insane how many. I should have probably counted how many are in there. Now, I asked about sales because you guys know I come from a sales background. I want to say they sell about a dozen, or maybe a little bit more as we look at the Tommy Kyra. They sell about a dozen to 16 vehicles a month. Now, they had some really clean examples that I missed out on. This purple one, by the way, is one of my favorite cars. This R33 was just unbelievable. Anyways, they sell about a dozen. I've said that many times. They sell about a dozen a month, and they import them as much as they can. The next batch comes in August, and they're going to have a really cool blue. It's called like a championship blue. R30, I think it's an R33 coming in. I could be wrong. Maybe it's an R32, but that will be coming in August. So I'll try my best to make it back there and share that with you guys as well. Here is the R33 that I fell in love with. The lights down here have been swapped out to match the headlights. There are a few other, most of these aren't stock, by the way. As you would imagine, people in Japan want to, customize them to make them their own vehicle. So a lot of them have brake upgrades, wheel upgrades, suspension upgrades, things like that. You can see the Brembos on this particular model. This one, I just couldn't stop looking at. This Midnight Purple, I think is what they called. Just a beautiful car. And that blinker, that side blinker, those are typically yellow or orange, and they swapped it out for a clear one. You see this one, this example is 66K. Just, I don't know, if I had 66K to burn, I might do that. Now the spoilers on these R33 GT-Rs, they are actually adjustable. So you'll see some models later where you can adjust the angle of the spoiler, which I thought is cool. It's really easy to do. You just take an Allen key to do that. I loved the tip on this as well, the Nismo tip. I think it's carbon fiber too, by the way, as I zoom in. Just a beautiful car. I'll let the rest speak for itself. Going the other way, going down the line, there's the purple one again, that probably the number one car. There's also an R32 you'll see that I liked a lot in this, and it wasn't a GTR, it was a GTS, and I fell in love with that vehicle as well. Here's a cool Tommy Kyra here, painted on the side. So old school, like 90s Japanese. Awesome. Even on the wheels, love that touch. Super cool. And you can see the carbon fiber surround on the taillights on that particular one. And then here, if I can pause, you can see that this Skyline doesn't have the key access on the trunk. And I picked up on that because the rest of them have this Nissan emblem on the back. I'm like, what happened with this? Well, he's like, a lot of people were getting their GTRs broken into back in the day, stolen as well. I'm sure they still are, by the way. So some people opted to have the trunk modified to remove the key entry. What's interesting is that when I further inspected it and got really close, there was no evidence of there being a key trunk lid. So what I'm thinking is that they replaced the entire trunk lid with no key access. I don't think this is the trunk lid, the original trunk lid for the vehicle. I think they swapped out the whole thing. I could be wrong, but the paint looked factory. There had been no indentations or anything of where the key entry was. So I thought that was pretty interesting on that particular vehicle. And then here we have the spoiler that you can see it's multiple angle adjustable. So pretty neat. I like it at the top, like with the least amount of angle to it, because you don't see those additional holes in the spoiler housings on the side. I don't know if I would adjust the angle. It probably looks meaner on the street, but when you look closer, you can see those holes on it. Now, what's crazy here, I'm going to pause. So these are the brakes from a newer Skyline. Actually, they might be like a Q50 Red Sport, if I remember right. So what's interesting is that you cannot see the spacing between the Brembo brake caliper and the wheel. There's probably a millimeter or two of space between the wheel and the brake caliper. So they may have had to do some modifications to get it to fit, but it's just really, really cool. When you get close to it, you can just see how close that caliper is to that particular wheel that's been kind of pushed inward. Now this one, these wheels probably look familiar to you. These are the R34 GT-Rs wheels. So this has been modified as well. Like I said, most of them have modifications on them. I mean, that's just the way it's going to be. But yes, these wheels, they're not my favorite wheels, but they're iconic to the R34 Skyline GT-Rs. So, and you just look at those Brembos so close to the wheel. It looks like they're touching, but they're not. Otherwise, the car wouldn't be able to drive very well. We had some really clean examples of R32 Skylines on this side. Just a paradise. Just a GT-R Skyline paradise. And like I said, they do import other vehicles. Skylines still don't have that popularity that they want here in America. So, which is surprising to me because I grew up with the vehicle. It's been on every single racing game I've ever played is a Skyline or GT-R or both. So it's crazy that it still doesn't have enough cultural pull to be able to sell very well. But he said business is good. They just have 2 locations, one in Japan, and the store there just has crazy amounts of volume and crazy examples. And then there's a store here in Naples, Florida. So just a dream come true. Now this GT-R in the back is a showroom piece essentially. It is nearly flawless. I wouldn't say it's mint, but it's really, really close. It is beautiful. It has a lot of options on it. It has the Nismo body kit on it. So it is, yeah, it's a car show vehicle or a showroom piece. So everything about it was definitely next level. This had the gold badging, which was a rare option back then. So this R33 was pretty darn cool. I'm just a sucker for that midnight purple color. I don't know if I haven't seen many GT-Rs in person. This might have been the first. No, I have seen one in Omaha. There was one there, an R32. But the Nismo wheels are cool to see. You got the Brembo brakes on here. And then, like, every single car has plastic on it to preserve it. So I wasn't able to get very good looks in the interior, but this one was pretty peachy. My camera wouldn't focus in on the speedometer and odometer there, so I apologize for that. And almost all of these have the original audio players taken out of them for a modern MP3/CD player, which is, I mean, of course they would do that. I mean, I would do the same thing. And just flowing around, the engine bay was pretty clean on this too, of course. And you have that gold badging on the front as well. That, again, that Nismo body kit, pretty sick. I still like the purple one up front better than this. I enjoyed that vehicle more. This one's a little bit more aggressive. The gold badges are cool and everything, but I like the one in the front. For some reason, that one just spoke to me a little bit more. RB26, this engine is a legend. It's up there with the 2JZ from Toyota. Not quite as overbuilt. It's definitely more of a racing engine, I would say. It revs higher, revs a little bit faster. It is a smaller engine. And it produces, well, from the factory, they say 76 horsepower or so. That was just a gentleman's agreement. They couldn't produce engines more than that, but it actually produced something like 315 plus horsepower. So this thing is a legend from Japan in this GT-R. It's just so cool to see that suspension piece was it's a stabilization bar, Stabi bar across the top. It's really, really cool to just witness. I was in a car museum, essentially, of Japanese Godzillas. It was, yeah, you can't make this up. So, yeah, just one last look at the brakes. And then we got a couple more examples here. Now, this is the smaller engined Skyline. This is not a GTR, it's a GTS. And this one was one of my favorite vehicles in the entire place as well. So it has an inline 6 as well, but it's a 2-liter. It's still turbocharged, and this thing I loved it. And apparently this is kind of like the bargain vehicle. If you're looking to get a Skyline, like, you can get a really good deal on them. I think I have more images of it. Here we go. So here it is. GTS Type M, only 24K. Like, this vehicle I would be happy to own it. It'd just be so much fun. Of course, it's a manual, and I was able to get a pretty good shot at this interior. Of course, aftermarket steering wheel. There's a boost gauge for you. And none of them, I don't believe any of these have aftermarket turbochargers or engine work done to them. So I think, I could be wrong, I think the majority of the modifications of these cars are either cosmetic or suspension and tire and wheels. And then here is that 2-liter inline 6, a smaller one, in this GTS. So it just, I love this one. This is one of my favorite vehicles here. And of course, there's going to be some bolt-on modifications, as you guys just saw, but nothing major. So exhaust, as you guys you've seen exhaust tips, air intakes, things of that nature, but nothing crazy in terms of modifications. So a couple last looks here, and then I'm going to finish up telling you guys about this shirt, because I got a shirt. So this shirt was given to me by Kazuki-san, and this is apparently the first shirt he's given out to someone, so I feel very honored by that, and it's pretty cool. So I'm just going to stand up and show it to you guys. No shame. Stuff on the back. I love the Nismo action on it. But yeah, we talked for like an hour of all things Japanese vehicles. His specialty is definitely the GTRs, of course, but I mean, we talked about Toyota, Honda, we talked about Nissan, we talked about the upcoming GTR. Like, no one really knows what the heck we're going to see in the next GTR. So it was a really cool experience, and I cannot believe this is my backyard. So when something really cool comes out, I'm going to do my research on that vehicle, tell you all about it. I think that it's a limited edition championship blue. So I'll be able to give you guys a cool walk around, do a lot more research. Like, there's way too many different models and things, and I'm not a specialist on GTRs. I just have fairly general, like very little general knowledge on them. I just know that I love them. That's the most important part. But expect more videos coming from me at Craft Sports with some really cool imported GTR vehicles, maybe some other stuff as well. Like the Supra and the NSX was really cool. But guys, I'm going to end it there. Thank you to Craft Sports, Kazuki, Kaz, Joe. You guys are awesome. Can't wait to see you guys again. And thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, smash the like button, subscribe for more Japanese auto news, a little bit of Korean auto news, and reviews as well. Thank you so much.